Welcome to Story Tales. Please like this video and subscribe to Story Tales. I hope you enjoy the story. Let's begin. The saw blade screamed through timber, dust hanging thick in the afternoon air. Kevin Marin wiped sweat from his forehead and glanced at his watch. 3:30. They'd pushed through the last order faster than expected. "That's it, boys," he called out over the machinery. "Let's wrap it up." His crew didn't argue. Friday afternoon meant cold beer and warm homes. Kevin signed off on the delivery sheets, his handwriting blocky and plain. 38 years old, and his hands still cramped after a full shift. The mill paid decent, though. Kept food on the table. Kept Rose in school. He climbed into his truck, the suspension groaning under his weight. The radio crackled to life. Some country song about lost love. He switched it off. The silence felt better. The diner sat on Route 126, its neon sign buzzing in the daylight. Kevin pulled into the gravel lot and went inside. The bell above the door chimed. "Hey, Kevin." The waitress, Janet, 60-something with tired eyes, smiled at him. "Usual. Just a root beer to go. The good kind Liam likes. How's that boy doing?" "Growing too fast." Kevin pulled out his wallet. "Probably taller than me by summer." "They do that." Janet rang him up, sliding the cold bottle across the counter. "You tell him to stop by sometime. Haven't seen him in weeks." "Will do." The drive home took 20 minutes. Kevin knew every turn, every pothole. Oak Street looked the same as always. Small houses with neat lawns, American flags hanging limp in the still air. His house sat third from the corner, pale blue with white trim. Rose had picked the color 5 years back. He parked in the driveway behind Rose's sedan. Grabbed the root beer, walked up the path. His key scraped against the lock. Didn't turn. Kevin tried again, jiggling the handle. Nothing. He pulled the key out, examined it. Same key he'd used that morning. Same key he'd used for 8 years. He walked around to the back door. His key didn't work there either. His pulse quickened. He pulled out his phone and called Rose. Voicemail. He tried Liam. Straight to voicemail. But Liam's bike leaned against the porch steps, chain locked through the front wheel. Kevin knocked on the door. Waited. Knocked harder. "Liam." His voice sounded strange in his own ears. "Liam, you in there?" Nothing. He circled the house, peering through windows. The living room looked normal. Kitchen clean. But something felt wrong. The air tasted wrong. Kevin dialed 911. "Eugene Police, what's your emergency?" "I'm locked out of my house. My son's bike is here, but he's not answering. I think something's wrong." "What's your address, sir?" He gave it. His hand shook now. "Officers are en route. Stay outside the residence." Kevin stood on his own porch like a stranger. 5 minutes felt like 50. A patrol car pulled up, lights off. 2 officers emerged. One older, one young, with a fresh haircut. "Kevin Marin?" The older one asked. "That's me. You live here?" 8 years. "Your son inside?" "I think so. His bike's here. My wife changed the locks. I don't know why." The officers exchanged glances. The younger one spoke in his radio, while the older one approached the door. "We're going to check it out. You stay here." The older officer tried the handle, then radioed for something. 5 minutes later, a third officer arrived with a battering tool. Kevin's stomach turned. The door splintered on the second hit. Both officers went inside. Kevin started to follow, but the younger one held up a hand. "Sir, please wait." Kevin waited. Seconds crawled. Then the older officer appeared at the door, his face pale. "Sir, I need you to stay calm. Is there someone we can call for you?" "What happened?" "Where's Liam?" "Sir, where's my son?" The officer's jaw tightened. "There's been an accident. I'm very sorry." Kevin's legs gave out. He caught himself on the porch railing. The wood bit into his palms. "He's upstairs," the officer said quietly. "It looks like he fell. We've called for an ambulance, but—" Kevin shoved past him. The younger officer tried to grab his arm, but Kevin was already inside, already taking the stairs 2 at a time. Liam lay at the bottom of the second-floor hallway. His body twisted at an angle that wasn't right. His eyes were closed. His lips were blue. Kevin dropped to his knees, reached for his son's hand. It was cold. "No." The word came out broken. "No, no, no." Someone pulled him back. Kevin fought against it. Voices buzzed around him like insects. His vision narrowed to a tunnel. Liam's face. Liam's closed eyes. Liam's still chest. The paramedics arrived. Kevin watched them check for a pulse they wouldn't find. Watched them exchange looks. Watched one shake his head. "I'm sorry," someone said. Kevin sat on the stairs. Time stopped meaning anything. Rose showed up an hour later. Kevin heard her voice before he saw her, high and breaking. "What happened? Where's Liam? Where's my baby?" She ran inside. Saw the paramedics. Saw the covered body. She screamed. It sounded like an animal dying. "Ma'am, please," an officer said. "Ma'am, I need you to calm down. That's my son. That's my son." Rose collapsed against the wall, sliding down. Her face contorted. "No, please, no." Kevin stared at her. Something in her performance felt off. The grief looked right. Sounded right. But underneath it, something else moved. Something calculated. A detective arrived. Older man with gray temples and tired eyes. His badge read Cole. "Mr. Marin? Mrs. Marin? I'm Detective Cole. I need to ask you both some questions." Rose couldn't speak through her sobs. Kevin's voice came out flat. "What happened to my son? That's what we're trying to determine." "Mrs. Marin, where were you this afternoon?" "The hospital." Rose wiped her eyes. "I'm finishing my nursing degree. I was there all day." "What time did you leave?" "Around 3. I came straight home." "And you, Mr. Marin?" "Work. Got off early. Got here around 3:30. Did either of you see or hear anything unusual this morning?" "I left at 6, Kevin said. Liam was still asleep. Rose was in the shower. "I dropped him at school," Rose added. "He was fine. He was perfectly fine." Detective Cole nodded, writing in a small notebook. "The locks on your doors, they're new?" Kevin's head snapped toward Rose. She avoided his eyes. "I had them changed yesterday," Rose said. "I forgot to give Kevin the new key. I was going to tonight." "Why'd you change them?" "I lost my keys last week. Thought it was safer." The lies sat between them like a third person. Kevin said nothing. They took Liam's body away in a black bag. Kevin stood on the sidewalk and watched the van drive off. Neighbors gathered in clusters, whispering. Someone touched his shoulder. He didn't remember who. Rose left with her sister Emma. Kevin heard her say she couldn't stay in the house. Couldn't bear it. Emma's car disappeared down the street. Detective Cole approached Kevin as the last patrol car pulled away. "Mr. Marin, I know this is difficult, but I need to be honest with you. Initial assessment suggests your son fell from the banister. There's no sign of forced entry. No indication of foul play. He wouldn't just fall." Kevin's voice cracked. "Liam was careful. He's walked past that banister 1,000 times. Sometimes accidents happen. Kids lean too far, lose balance." "No." Cole studied him. "The medical examiner will do an autopsy. We'll know more then. Do you have somewhere to stay tonight?" "This is my house." "Understand. But given the circumstances." "This is my house," Kevin repeated. Cole handed him a card. "Call me if you think of anything. Anything at all." Kevin took the card. Watched Cole drive away. Then he walked back inside his house and locked the broken door behind him. The silence pressed against his eardrums. He walked through the living room. Kitchen. Denver. Everything looked the same. Rose's nursing textbooks stacked on the coffee table. Liam's backpack hanging by the door. A half-finished puzzle on the dining table. Some landscape with mountains. Kevin climbed the stairs. Stopped at the spot where Liam had lain. Someone had cleaned it. No blood. No sign anything had happened. He went to Liam's room. Sat on the bed. The sheets still smelled like his son. Sweat and soap and boy. Kevin stayed there until dark. Then he moved to the couch. Sleep didn't come. The next morning, people started arriving. Rose's friends. His co-workers. Someone from the church they didn't attend. They brought casseroles and cookies and words that meant nothing. "I'm so sorry for your loss. He's in a better place. God needed another angel." Kevin nodded at each one. Accepted their dishes. Stacked them in the fridge. When the last person left, he threw them all in the trash. Rose came by on Sunday. She looked smaller somehow. Her eyes were red, face swollen. "Kevin, we need to talk about the arrangements." He stared at her from the couch. "The funeral," she continued. "We need to pick a casket. Plan the service. There's paperwork. You changed the locks." Rose blinked. "What?" "You changed the locks and didn't tell me." "I forgot. I already said that." "You forgot. Kevin, our son just died. Can we not do this right now?" "When did you plan to give me a key?" Her jaw tightened. "I don't know. This week sometime. Does it really matter? Why'd you really change them? I told the detective. I lost my keys. You're lying. Rose's face flushed. How dare you? How dare you accuse me of anything right now? Our son is dead and you're worried about locks. Our son is dead in our house while you were somewhere else. I was at the hospital. Prove it. Rose grabbed her purse. I don't have to prove anything to you. I'm staying with Emma until after the funeral. We'll talk about this later. She left. Kevin listened to her car start, listened to it fade down the street. He went upstairs to Liam's room, started going through drawers. Clothes, books, action figures, a half-finished model airplane. In the desk drawer, under old homework assignments, Kevin found a spiral notebook. Liam's handwriting covered the pages. Notes about school, drawings of superheroes, lists of video games he wanted. 3 pages from the end, Kevin found an entry dated 2 weeks ago. Mom and Michael were fighting. She said, Dad doesn't make her feel anything anymore. Michael said they should wait. Mom started crying. I went back to bed. I don't know what to do. Kevin read it 3 times. The words burned into his brain. Michael Acker, the paramedic from the firehouse. The one who'd helped fix their kitchen sink last month. The one Rose said was just a friend. Kevin's hands started shaking. He set the notebook down carefully, walked to the bathroom, gripped the sink. His reflection stared back. Hollow eyes, gray skin, a stranger's face. He splashed cold water on his face, dried it, went back to Liam's room and took the notebook. The funeral happened on Wednesday. Gray sky, cold rain. Kevin wore the only suit he owned. It smelled like mothballs. The church was full. People he'd never met sat in the pews. Rose stood beside him at the front, dressed in black. She held his hand. Her palm was wet. The pastor talked about God's plan, about heaven, about a young life cut short. Kevin didn't hear most of it. He watched the small casket at the altar, oak with brass handles. They'd picked it together the day before, Rose crying the whole time. At the burial, Rose clung to him. Her nails dug into his arm. People gathered around the grave as they lowered Liam into the ground. Someone sang Amazing Grace. Rose sobbed into Kevin's shoulder. He stood perfectly still, his face blank, but his hands shook so badly he had to shove them in his pockets. After, at the reception in the church basement, people approached them, hugged Rose, shook Kevin's hand. He moved through it like a ghost. Mrs. Patterson from next door pulled him aside near the coffee table. Kevin, I don't know if I should mention this. She glanced around, lowered her voice. But last week I saw Rose's car parked outside Michael Acker's place. Late at night, around 11. I thought you were there too, but then I saw your truck in your driveway when I drove past. Kevin's chest tightened. When was this? Thursday night. I was coming back from my sister's. I almost stopped to say hello, but the lights were off. Thank you for telling me. Mrs. Patterson squeezed his arm. I'm probably wrong. I'm sure there's an explanation. Kevin nodded. Watch her walk away. Across the room, Rose talked to Emma and some nursing school friends. She laughed at something someone said, then caught herself and put on a sad face again. Kevin left without saying goodbye. That night, Kevin sat in Liam's room with the notebook open on his lap. He'd read the entry 100 times. Each word felt like a knife. Dad doesn't make her feel anything anymore. His phone buzzed. Rose calling. He let go to voicemail. She called 3 more times. Finally sent a text. Where did you go? People were asking about you. Kevin typed back. Who's Michael? 3 minutes passed. Then, what are you talking about? Kevin, Michael Acker, the paramedic. Rose, he's a friend. Why? Kevin, Liam knew about you too. The next message took 5 minutes. You're not making sense. Grief is making you paranoid. We should talk face to face. Kevin, did Liam see you together? Rose, there's nothing to see. You're being crazy. Kevin, then why change the locks? Rose stopped responding. Kevin called her. She didn't pick up. He called again and again. On the 4th try, she answered. Stop calling me, she hissed. Tell me the truth. I've told you the truth. Michael is a friend. That's all. Then why did Liam write about you fighting with him? Silence. Then, Liam misunderstood something. Kids do that. What did he misunderstand? Kevin, I can't do this right now. I'm grieving. I need space. We both lost him. And I need time to process that. Away from you. A man's voice murmured something in the background. Rose's breath caught. Who's there? Kevin asked. No one. I heard someone. You didn't. You're being paranoid. Put them on the phone. There's no one here. But her voice pitched higher. I have to go. She hung up. Kevin tried calling back. She didn't answer. He sat in the dark for a long time. Then he grabbed his keys and left. The fire station sat on 7th Avenue. Kevin parked across the street. Waited. The night shift change happened at 11. He learned that last year when the department came to speak at Liam's school. At 10:50, a red pickup truck pulled into the lot. Kevin recognized it. Michael's truck. Lifted suspension, truck nuts hanging from the hitch. Michael got out, tall, fit, square-jawed. The kind of guy who smiled easy and charmed harder. He disappeared into the station. Kevin waited until midnight, then drove home. The house felt like a tomb. Every room held ghosts. Kevin walked through them, room by room, touching Liam's things. His jacket on the coat rack. His shoes by the door. His favorite mug in the kitchen sink. Kevin washed the mug, dried it, put it in the cabinet with the others. Then he opened a beer. First drink in 3 years. It tasted like rust. He sat at the kitchen table and stared at Liam's notebook. Rose's words echoed in his head. Liam misunderstood. No, Liam had seen something, written it down, and now Liam was dead. Kevin drank the beer, then another, then a third. The alcohol didn't help. Nothing helped. Around 3 in the morning, he finally slept. He dreamed of Liam falling, dreamed of reaching for him, dreamed of missing. He woke at dawn with a headache and a hole in his chest. Kevin didn't go to work the next day, or the day after. His boss called, left messages. Kevin deleted them. He spent the days tracking Rose, figuring out her schedule. She stayed at Emma's house, a duplex on the north side. Left around 8 each morning. Rose drove to the hospital for her clinical rotations. Stayed until 3. Then she'd go to the grocery store, or the library, once to a coffee shop where she sat alone by the window. Kevin watched from his truck, never approached, just watched. On Thursday, Rose didn't go to the hospital. She drove east instead, toward the freeway. Kevin followed at a distance. She took exit 47, turned onto a county road. Kevin hung back, letting 2 cars get between them. The motel appeared after 5 miles. Single story, brown brick, sign reading Cascade Rest Inn. Rose pulled into the lot, parked near room 12. Michael's red truck was already there. Kevin's knuckles went white on the steering wheel. He pulled into the far corner of the lot, turned off the engine, waited. Rose knocked on room 12. The door opened. Michael stood there in jeans and a white shirt. He smiled, pulled her inside. Kevin sat in his truck for 4 hours, watching the closed door, the do not disturb sign hanging from the handle. He didn't cry, didn't rage. Something inside him turned cold and hard, like iron cooling in water. At 2 in the afternoon, the door opened. Rose came out first, hair wet from a shower. She wore the blue dress Kevin had bought her last Christmas. Michael followed, kissing her neck. She laughed, pushed him away playfully. They stood by Michael's truck talking. Rose on her toes, arms around his neck. Michael's hands on her waist. Kevin watched them, memorized every detail. The way she smiled at Michael. The way she never smiled at him anymore. Finally, Rose got in her car. Michael waved. She blew him a kiss. Both vehicles left in different directions. Kevin followed Rose back to Emma's duplex. Watched her go inside. He drove home in silence. The cold thing in his chest grew colder. That night, Kevin sat at the kitchen table with Liam's notebook and his laptop. He opened their bank statements, started going through charges. 3 months of transactions. Most normal, groceries, gas, utilities. But scattered through them, transfers to Michael Acker's account. $200, $400, $500. The description on each, loan repayment. Kevin had never loaned Michael money, never even talked to him about money. He checked Rose's credit card. More charges. Hotels, restaurants, a jewelry store in Portland. Kevin added it up. Over $3,000 in 3 months. His phone rang. Detective Cole. Mr. Marin, do you have a minute? Yes. I wanted to update you on your son's case. The medical examiner completed the autopsy. Kevin's stomach dropped. And the official ruling is accidental death. Blunt force trauma to the head consistent with a fall. I'm very sorry. That's it. There's no evidence of foul play. The injuries match the scene. These things happen, tragic as they are. What about the bruises? Silence. What bruises? You said there were bruises. On his arms. I didn't say that. Someone did. After the autopsy. Cole hesitated. There were some marks. But they were old. Probably from playing, roughhousing. Nothing suspicious. How old? A few days. Maybe a week. So someone grabbed him. Before he fell. Mr. Marin, I understand you're looking for answers. But sometimes there aren't any. Your son fell. It was an accident. A terrible, horrible accident. Kevin closed his eyes. What if it wasn't? Do you have evidence suggesting otherwise? Did he? A notebook entry. A change lock. An affair. But no proof. Not yet. No, Kevin said. Then I'm closing the case. Again, I'm deeply sorry for your loss. If you need anything, call me. Cole hung up. Kevin sat with the phone in his hand, staring at nothing. New bruises. Someone had grabbed Liam. Days before he died. Kevin called Emma's number. She answered on the third ring. Kevin, I need to talk to Rose. She's sleeping. She's had a really hard day. I know about Michael. Emma went quiet. Kevin heard her breathing. Emma, please. I need to understand what happened. Kevin, I don't think. My son is dead. I need to know why. More silence. Then, come over. But not tonight. Tomorrow morning. 9 o'clock. I'll be there. Emma hung up. Kevin didn't sleep that night. He sat at the table, going through bank statements again, looking for patterns. Anything that will make sense of this. At dawn, he showered, shaved, put on clean clothes. His hands were steady, his mind clear. He drove to Emma's duplex at 8:45, parked on the street, walked to the door. Emma answered before he could knock. She looked older than her 42 years. Tired, scared. Rose isn't here, she said. Where is she? She left early. Said she had errands. You said we could talk. Emma glanced behind her, then stepped outside, pulling the door closed. Not inside. Walk with me. They walked down the street. A park sat 2 blocks away. Emma led him to a bench under an oak tree. I don't want Rose to know we talked, she said. Okay. She's my sister. I love her. But I also loved Liam. Emma's voice cracked. He was a good kid. He was. Rose made mistakes. Big ones. But she didn't mean for any of this to happen. What mistakes? Emma looked at her hands. She started seeing Michael in January. Said you'd gotten distant. That you worked too much. That she felt alone. She was in school. I worked overtime to pay for it. I know. I told her that. She didn't want to hear it. Emma wiped her eyes. She talked about leaving. Getting her own place after graduation. Michael promised he'd help her. Kevin's chest tightened. She was planning to leave? Yes. She wanted to wait until she finished school. Didn't want to disrupt things. So she changed the locks. Emma nodded. 2 weeks ago, after you left for work one morning, she was going to ask you to move out. Give her the house. And Liam? Emma's face crumpled. He found out. Saw them together at Michael's place one night. Rose had told you she was at study group. But Liam followed her. Rode his bike across town. Kevin felt sick. When? 3 weeks ago. He confronted her. Threatened to tell you. Rose begged him not to. Said it would destroy the family. Told him to keep quiet. And he did. For a while. But it ate at him. I could see it when he visited. He stopped smiling. Stopped talking much. Kevin remembered. Liam had been quiet lately. Withdrawn. Kevin had thought it was just puberty. What happened the day he died? Kevin asked. I don't know. Rose won't say. She just keeps crying, saying it was an accident. But you don't believe that. Emma met his eyes. I think Liam and Rose argued that morning. About Michael. About what was happening. And something went wrong. Did she push him? I don't know, Kevin. I swear I don't know. Kevin stood. His legs felt weak. Thank you for telling me. What are you going to do? I don't know yet. Emma grabbed his arm. Please don't hurt her. She's broken enough. Kevin pulled away. So am I. He walked back to his truck. Started driving with no destination. The road blurred. His eyes burned, but no tears came. He ended up at the cemetery. Stood by Liam's grave. The dirt was still fresh, flowers wilting in the sun. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry I wasn't there. A bird called from a nearby tree. Wind moved through the grass. Kevin stayed until the sun started to set. Then he went home, packed a bag, and left. Kevin found a cabin on a real estate website, 2 hours east in the Cascades. Small, isolated, cheap. He paid cash, 6 months up front. The cabin sat on 3 acres of pine trees. 1 bedroom, wood stove, no neighbors for miles. Kevin moved in with 1 bag of clothes and a box of Liam's things. He quit his job at the mill over the phone. Tom, his boss, tried to talk him out of it. Kevin, take more time. Grief makes people do strange things. I'm done, Tom. Thanks for everything. He hung up, blocked the number. Next he called his bank, moved his savings to a new account, changed his passwords, started disappearing from the world piece by piece. Rose called, texted, called again. Kevin let it go to voicemail. After a week, she stopped trying. He spent his days chopping wood, fixing the cabin's roof, walking through the forest. At night, he sat by the fire and read Liam's notebook over and over. Mom said, Dad doesn't make her feel anything anymore. The words haunted him because they were probably true. He'd worked long hours, came home tired, didn't talk much. He thought he was providing, thought that was enough, but it wasn't. And now his son was dead. 2 months passed. The forest turned colors, gold and red and brown. Kevin watched autumn happen through the cabin window. One afternoon in November, a car pulled up the gravel drive. Kevin recognized it. Rose. He watched her get out. She looked thinner, brittle. She wore a heavy coat and scarf. Her face was pale. Kevin opened the door before she could knock. Hello, Rose. Kevin. She tried to smile. It didn't reach her eyes. Can I come in? He stepped aside. She walked past him, looking around the cabin. At the bare walls. The single couch. The cold stove. This is where you've been? Yes. People have been worried. Emma. Tom from the mill. Even Detective Cole called me. I'm fine. Rose sat on the couch, folded her hands in her lap. I want to talk. About everything. Kevin remained standing. Okay. I know you're angry with me. About Michael. About the locks. I know you think I'm a terrible person. I don't think anything. Kevin, please. Let me explain. Go ahead. Rose's eyes filled with tears. I made mistakes. I was lonely and scared and I handled it wrong. But I loved Liam. I loved him so much. I know you did. Then why won't you talk to me? Why did you disappear? I needed space. It's been 2 months. I needed more space. Rose wiped her eyes. Michael and I ended things. After Liam died, he couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle my grief. I see. I'm all alone now. Emma barely speaks to me. My friend from school stopped calling. Everyone thinks I'm a bad mother. Are you? Rose flinched. What? Are you a bad mother? No. I love my son. Then why did Liam die in a locked house that I couldn't get into? Rose went pale. That was an accident. A horrible accident. You changed the locks the day before. Because I lost my keys. That's not why. Rose stood. Her hands shook. Kevin, I know you're hurting. I'm hurting too. Can't we just try to heal together? Did you push him? The question hung in the air. Rose's mouth opened. Closed. What? She whispered. Did you push Liam? Are you insane? Did you? No. He fell. I wasn't even home. You were at the hospital. Doing clinicals. That's your story. It's not a story. It's the truth. Kevin walked to the kitchen. Pulled his phone from the counter. Opened a folder. Selected a file. You want to know what I've been doing up here? He asked. Rose said nothing. I've been thinking. About timing. About coincidences. About lies. Kevin turned the phone toward her. I've been listening to your voicemails. The ones you left me over the last few months. So, I found something interesting. From 3 weeks ago. You called me while you were arguing with Michael. Forgot to hang up. Left me a 2-minute voicemail of your conversation. Rose's face drained of color. Kevin played the recording. Rose's voice. He'll sign the insurance. I just can't stand him anymore. We just have to wait. Michael's voice. What if he doesn't? What if he fights you? Rose's voice. He won't. Kevin doesn't fight for anything. He'll just let me go. Michael's voice. And Liam? Rose's voice. Liam is 12. He'll adjust. Kids always do. The recording stopped. Kevin watched Rose's face. That's out of context, she stammered. Is it? Yes. We were talking about hypotheticals. About what would happen if I left. You were planning to leave. Take the house. Take Liam. I had a right to think about my options. And I had a life insurance policy through the mill. $250,000. Rose's eyes widened. Are you accusing me of something? Did Liam die because he found out about your plan? Because he threatened to tell me? This is crazy. You're crazy. Emma told me. About Liam following you. About the argument. Rose backed toward the door. I don't have to listen to this. Did you love him more than you loved your son? Rose stopped. Turned slowly. What? Michael, did you love him more than you loved Liam? How dare you? Because that's what it looks like. New locks. Secret plans. Money transfers. A child who knew too much and ended up dead. Liam fell. Rose screamed. He fell. Why did he fall? Because he was leaning over the banister. Because he lost his balance. At exactly the moment you planned to lock me out. At exactly the time you changed every lock in the house. It was an accident. Kevin stepped closer. His voice dropped. You were supposed to change the locks after I was gone, weren't you? After you'd asked me to leave. But you changed them early. And Liam was home. And he confronted you. Stop. What did he say? That he'd tell me? That he'd ruin everything. Stop. Did you grab him? Did he pull away? Did you push? Rose slapped him. The sound cracked through the cabin. They stood there, breathing hard. Rose's hands still raised. Kevin's face burning. I love my son, Rose said quietly. Whatever you think I am, whatever you believe happened, that is the truth. I loved Liam. Kevin's voice came out flat. Then prove it. I can't prove love. Leave. Kevin, get out of my house. Rose stared at him. Then she grabbed her purse and left. Her car started. Gravel crunched under tires. The sound faded into silence. Kevin sat on the couch, pulled out his phone, called Detective Cole. This is Kevin Marin. I need to report new information about my son's death. The investigation took 3 weeks. Cole reopened the case. Interviewed Emma. Interviewed Rose. Pulled phone records. Bank records. Hospital records. Rose's alibi didn't hold up. She'd signed in at the hospital at 7 that morning. Signed out at 10. Never returned. She'd been home when Liam died. They found text messages between Rose and Michael. Deleted, but recoverable. Rose, he knows. Michael, what do we do? Rose, wait. Just wait. Rose, can't take this anymore. Kay working late again. Liam won't stop asking questions. Michael, tell him it's adult stuff. He'll get over it. Rose, you don't know him. He's stubborn like his father. Financial records showed Rose had been researching divorce lawyers, child custody, life insurance payouts. 3 days before Liam died, she called her bank to check the value of Kevin's policy. The medical examiner re-examined Liam's body. The bruises on his arms matched adult handprints. Someone had grabbed him. Hard. On December 15th, Rose was arrested, charged with involuntary manslaughter, insurance fraud, evidence tampering. Michael Ackerd disappeared, quit his job, stopped answering his phone. Warrants went out. They'd find him eventually. Kevin testified at Rose's preliminary hearing, sat in the witness box, answered questions in a calm, steady voice. The prosecutor asked about the locks. She changed them the day before her son died, Kevin said. I couldn't get into my own house. Do you believe that was intentional? Yes. The prosecutor showed the jury the voicemail recording. Played Rose's voice admitting she wanted Kevin gone. Rose sat at the defense table, stared at the wood grain, didn't look up. When the judge called a recess, Rose's lawyer asked to speak with Kevin in the hall. My client wants to make a statement. For the record, Kevin waited. The lawyer called Rose over. She looked small, broken, nothing like the woman who'd smiled at Michael in the motel parking lot. Kevin, she started. Her voice shook. I need you to know I never meant for any of this to happen. Kevin said nothing. That morning, Liam found my phone. Read my messages with Michael. He was so angry, so hurt. He said terrible things. Call me terrible things. And we fought at the top of the stairs. He said he was going to tell you everything. I grabbed his arm, tried to stop him. He pulled away. Rose's voice broke. He fell. God help me, he fell. You grabbed him. I didn't mean. I was just trying. You grabbed him hard enough to bruise. Hard enough to make him lose his balance. It was an accident. Was locking me out an accident? Was planning to leave me an accident? Rose sobbed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Kevin looked at her. This woman he'd married 14 years ago, who'd smiled at him on their wedding day, who'd held his hand when Liam was born. "You killed everything first," he said quietly. Rose looked up. "What?" "Before Liam died. You killed everything first. Our marriage, our trust, our family. Liam's death was just the end of something that already died. Kevin, please. And now you want forgiveness. Want me to understand. Want me to believe you loved him. I did love him." Kevin stood, looked down at her. "Forgiveness died with my son." He walked away, didn't look back. The trial lasted 6 weeks. The jury deliberated for 8 hours. Guilty. Involuntary manslaughter. 7 years minimum. Rose collapsed in court. Her lawyer caught her. The bailiff led her away in handcuffs. Kevin watched from the gallery. Felt nothing. Detective Cole found him afterward outside the courthouse. "You did the right thing," Cole said. "Did I?" "Your son deserved justice. He deserved a mother who loved him more than she loved herself." Cole had no answer to that. Kevin drove back to the cabin. The road stretched empty in front of him. Snow had started to fall, light flakes that melted on the windshield. When he arrived, he sat in the truck for a long time, watched the snow cover the trees, the roof, the world turning white and clean. Finally, he went inside, lit a fire in the stove, made coffee. From his bag, he pulled out the old doorknob from his house, the one that used to fit his key. He grabbed it before leaving. Couldn't say why. Now, he took it to the cabin's front door, removed the cheap lock that came with the place, installed the old one, slowly, carefully, testing each screw. When he finished, he tried his old key. It turned smoothly. The bolt slid into place. Kevin locked the door, unlocked it, locked it again. His door, his lock, his key. He went to the small table by the window, lit a candle, set it beside a photo of Liam, school picture from last year. Liam smiling with that gap in his front teeth he'd been embarrassed about. Kevin sat down, looked at his son's face in the candlelight. "I did it," he whispered. "I made sure she paid." The candle flickered. Outside, the snow kept falling. Kevin sat in silence. Finally safe. Finally alone. Finally home.